laced up.
Let's go!
It's time for Banter with the boys.
Welcome back, football fans. I'm Roberto. Gridiron updates. Banter with the boys. We have Jacob with us. What's up, dude?
Hey, Rob. How's it going?
Surviving. And
That's
the other Justin, the in-house Packer fan.
That's how you say it in French.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, feeling good off of the good W. So we got J. The better version, I guess, hopefully, after the Vikings fans are crying right now. But, yeah, we're here back for another episode, Week 13. We'll get to our 5-game recap right after this. Oh, Kevin, behind the camera.
Yo,
Forgot about him.
Kev.
It's beautiful back there. So, spin it, Kevin. We're back. Banter with the boys. JJ, Justin, Jacob. First game, Packers and the Vikings. We'll just hand it off over to you so we can get your gloating out of the way.
That's all that Jordan Love did with running back number 2.
Emmanuel Wilson?
Yeah, Emmanuel Wilson. He had I believe his first 100-yard game, and they continue to talk about these feel-good stories when they get these folks in that don't get their shot. So it was really cool to see him get his shot. As a Packer fan, he's one of those guys that just was lingering in the back whenever Josh Jacobs would get a breather or Josh Jacobs was struggling, he would inject some excitement. So I think Packerland was really excited for him to get his chance, very similar to years ago, now current Viking, when Aaron Jones got his chance and everyone was excited to see him get going. I think there's some of that there. So that was a lot of fun. But you go look at the numbers, Jordan Love didn't have to do a lot. He did what he needed to do. I think the most impressive play was on a 3rd down, and Vikings blitzed him, brought the whole house, and he was able to lob that up to Dontavian Wicks. That was a money pass, but he just had to do the things that he had to do. Didn't need to play hero ball. It was all about the defense and just keeping J.J. McCarthy off balance all day.
Yeah, it was a pretty good showing there by the Packers. Defensively, I mean, obviously, McCarthy did not have his best game so far. I did want to give the credit, Jordan hitting those 10-yard outs just absolutely just killed us all day long. Whenever they needed 10 yards on a scenario, and then they had a couple decent 3rd down plays. Did you get a chance to see that game, or what was your feeling, Mr. Jacob?
Yeah, we got to watch most of it. We were bouncing back and forth between that one and then the Bears-Steelers game because we were lucky enough to have both games broadcast at the same time.
Ooh, a little split screen rolling. I like it. Some grandpa's cough syrup just sipping down too. I love it. That's Dumb and Dumber if you guys don't know.
But so my take out of all of it, Packers played well, don't get me wrong, but I think there's a lot of criticism and critiquing to be had with the Vikings. KOC in his play calling. The first instance to me was in the second quarter. They had a 3rd and 1.
Yep.
And then they tried to push it with Hawkinson and didn't get it.
Didn't like that play? Okay.
No, I didn't. Save that for your 4th down play. Like, do just like a normal. If you're gonna try and get that one, don't try and be cute about it on 3rd down, because that's a great play action opportunity right there.
It is on a 3rd down like that.
Then they totally just wasted that, and then they couldn't get it on 4th and 1 either. So losing out on that, and then they just got away from running the football. I thought the Vikings were doing a really good job of running the ball with both their backs. They were averaging like almost 5 yards a carry. Yeah. Even when you're down 2 scores at 11, they just stopped running the ball, and we're just like, all right, JJ, we need you to try and be our hero. And Green Bay just teed off on him.
Yeah, they started smothering him. Yeah, you could tell McCarthy is really looking at the defensive line right now. There was multiple plays. I was looking on the All-22 where he just completely missed multiple receivers that were wide open in that secondary. I thought maybe that was going to be a thing we could key on with the Packers kind of coming with a questionable secondary to start the year. How long's Jacobs? Is this probably 1 week he's out? Is this what they're looking at?
Yeah, I think they did this to get ready for Detroit. I would be surprised if he does not play in Detroit. I think he could have gone on Sunday, but I think it was more out of protecting him and looking at the rest of the rest of the season. Getting back to J.J. McCarthy, I think the thing that surprised me watching the game is you look at the very beginning of the game and they were going to Justin Jefferson. Like they were getting some really good traction. And there were moments where they would go for the short passing game, which can help offset a running game if you feel like it's not working or you're struggling.
Great old Patriot ball.
Yeah, and they didn't do that. So if you're nervous of the rush, what are the two biggest ways that you can circumvent that? Number one is play action. Number two is the short pass. And I felt like they went away from that way too quickly, and I think that was a huge piece for them too. He's just holding onto the ball way too long.
Yeah, especially in that second half, he was really, you could see it was really affecting him. Did you guys see that punt, the Price? You think it was his bad or was it just a bad bounce?
I think it was a bad bounce.
Yeah, very unlucky, but I would imagine in Viking land, that's really difficult too, because that's happened a couple times to him over the last few weeks. So how long do you put him in that position, and when does the coach come in and put someone else in?
Yeah, and I feel like that's really momentum change right there, because that was actually, we got him to punt, and then maybe that was our opportunity to get back in the game. I think we were down.
It was a 4-point game at that point, wasn't it?
Yeah, and then you guys actually got just a field goal out of that.
Yeah.
But after that, it just seemed like we were trying to push the issue a little bit. You got really downhill, so... I mean, the Vikings weren't really out of it until last 10 minutes left on the fourth. So
yeah, the Vikings defense played great. They were on the field too much. That was the problem with them. But what do you expect out of a Flores defense to show up in that way?
And then you can see where the Micah Parsons came off. When you get a team that's down and they're passing, that's really when he is the most effective. So Packers win 23-6. That puts them at 7-3, and the Vikings are at 4-7. Let's move on to the next game. We had the Indianapolis Colts versus the Kansas City Chiefs. Chiefs sneaking this one out 23-20 in overtime. I do believe the Colts got up early on that game. I was kind of paying attention more on my phone during that game. What did you think about that game, Jacob? What did you see?
All right, Dennis Green quote here. The Colts are who I thought they are.
Okay.
My thought process has always been with the Colts this year, like being at 8-2. It's like, are they legit or not? But when you look at their record, they're out of their 8 wins, only 2 of them are against teams with winning records. Everybody else is at or below 500.
They played nobody.
Exactly. And now they're going to get into the tough end of their schedule now. So with Chiefs, you got 2 against the Texans games. Still, another one against the Jags. I think we're really going to see at this point who the Colts really are. And I felt like they played to not lose the game rather than to play to win it, allowing the Chiefs to come back. They were up 11, and then allowing them to tie. And the Chiefs just had these long drives that just wear out your defense.
Short, quick passes. Hey, McCarthy, check that out.
and that wears out the defense, and that plays to their advantage. Like as soon as it hits overtime, that Colts defense absolutely gassed. And so, with the Colts not being able to get any points in their first possession, it was super easy then for Mahomes to just get into field goal range.
Easy peasy. Yeah, I feel like there's been a couple games when they played better competition, when they had opportunity to put the, close the door, nail in the coffin, whatever way you want to look at it. And they've kind of, took the pedal off the gas and let other teams back in. What was your thought process of that game, or how did you view it moving on for your team?
Yeah, I think Jake had some really good points to share. I think the biggest things I saw were they limited Jonathan Taylor. He had 58 rushing yards off of 18 or 19 rushes.
He's kind of disappeared a little bit. He had that 3-tutty game, I think.
You do that and it shows who they are, right? Like that. I think that was a big piece. And Jones didn't throw a touchdown after the second quarter. So in the second half, that's where the Chiefs turned it up. Their defense turned it up, and they limited them to field goals after the fact. And then to Jake's point, these long drives that kept the defense on the field. I think there was a drive that was almost a quarter is what it felt like. So, when the defense is on the field that long, that's gonna create issues. You're gonna have an offense that's cold. You're gonna have a defense that's gassed, and they did just enough playing the clock managed game to put Mahomes and Andy Reid in a position to win that one. Really impressive win. I don't expect anything else from the Chiefs. Just a really messy, nasty win as they try to get into this playoff picture.
Yeah, that puts them at 6-5, drops the Colts down to 8-3. So yeah, it's starting to get crunch time. I'm just thinking about my fantasy football. I think we have 2 weeks left, so I was like, I mean, the playoffs. Usually when they end of fantasy football, it's kind of that do or die aspect in the real NFL too. So yeah, Chiefs just slowly staying alive. They're in the hunt to get in that playoff. They do have a tough division with some division games coming up too. Getting down early like that, I was like, "Ooh, is this the Chiefs? Getting them under 500 this late in the season would be kind of interesting." So, Colts, yeah, they're getting a little banged up too. The season's starting out. Your best ability is your availability most of the time at this part of the season. So,
Agreed.
Yeah, dropping them all. So we'll 4 minutes in, we'll move her on anyways because. Sick of talking about the Chiefs. We have the Yinzers Steelers versus the Chicago Bears. The Bears coming out with a victory, 31-28. Chicago's hot right now.
This was an exciting game.
It was.
I was not expecting this many points.
No, yeah. Then the Bears scored 17 unanswered. After trailing 21-14. I was kind of obviously cheering for the Steelers just because I'm a NFC North guy. So you always want the division foe to lose. Bears in first place. What do you think about that, Packers fan?
I think if you go and look at who they've played, the next 3 or 4 weeks will tell a lot about every team in the NFC.
Packers already?
Nope. 2 weeks. 2 weeks after Detroit.
Circle it on the calendar, huh?
Well, check this out. It's in 2 weeks, and then there's a break. We each play another team, and then we play each other again. So in the span of 3 weeks, we'll have both of those games done. So you'll know everything you need to know about both teams at that point, just who they are. I think the thing that concerns me if I'm a Bears fan is how much you let the Steelers do, knowing what version of the Steelers offense you got.
Is that game
Sunday.
different if Aaron Rodgers plays?
100% it's
Would
different.
Would you agree the same way?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
Aaron Rodgers still owns the Bears.
Still owns them. Mark that down. Owning real estate. Still in, what is that? I'm trying to think of the main road there next to the Bean. The Michigan Avenue.
There you go.
Ding. Boom. So, yeah, it was... Yeah, they slowly came back. Caleb continuing to get it done. Really unconventional. They did have their backup running back, Kyle. Anyone know how to pronounce that?
I keep thinking it's like Monunga or something.
Monunga sounds
that sounds good
for this thing. And you had old Mason Rudolph coming back and filling in for Aaron Rodgers. Got up early, looked okay in the beginning of the game, and then... Yeah, and then DJ Moore was just wide open on a couple touchdown passes. I don't know where the Steelers defense. On another note, though, I did see that TJ Watt passed his brother JJ Watt and sacks within the family. I don't know. Is it the Hall of Watts?
Hall of Watts, yeah.
Hall of Watts.
What a way to do it, though, because it was that strip sack fumble touchdown. Like, what an amazing way to do it.
Yeah, it was a pretty epic way. I can only imagine that picture hanging on his mantle because he's going to have it just at Thanksgiving and Christmas. So
he's going to gift it to his brother.
Oh, that's what he's going to do. There it is. There's the gay gift of the year right there.
That's awesome. But to get back to the Bears for 1 second, I've got to give Caleb his flowers. What he is doing with Ben Johnson is remarkable. I think this is the talent everyone saw from Caleb last year. It makes you nervous if you're an NFC North fan of another team, just knowing he's got this in him. The only problem is, are they going to stay hot at the time that it matters? But what they're doing right now is incredible.
Would you rank him above Love right now?
I think right now, because there's too much inconsistency, I think you have to, right?
Okay, it's a fair take.
As a whole
like
team,
I'm a Packers fan.
As a whole team, no. But I think him as a person and what he's doing, he had over 300 passing yards and 3 touchdowns last week, I think, are pretty close to it. So he's continuing to show what he can do. And I go back to a couple weeks ago, I think they were playing the Commanders in that comeback game, and what he threw a dime to Colston Loveland to win the game towards the very end of the game or in OT. Like, he's got that killer instinct, that DNA inside of him that is allowing them to continue to win. So it's not just these other pieces around him like sometimes you had with Goff in Detroit. It's him, and they're building around him. I think they're building something special, and I think the rest of the NFC North's going to have to catch up to put them back in their place in the cellar where they belong.
Yeah, that gets the Bears to 8-3. I mean, historically, I'm assuming this is probably the best start they've had in a while.
Yeah,
I mean,
probably.
So, and then Steelers dropped 6-5, which now is tied with Jacob's Ravens.
That's
over
right.
there after a 1-4 start.
1-5 start.
5 start. All
yeah,
right.
everyone thought the Ravens were dead and out of it, and guess who's in first place in the AFC North now?
No one thought they were out of it. Get off your high horse. We all knew once Lamar came back that they'd be probably a contender. And that was kind of their toughest part of the schedule. We're getting sidetracked on the Ravens here. But where are we at, Kevin? We're at the 5-minute mark, so let's move on then because we got more football to talk about here. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the LA Rams. Rams coming out 34-7 in a complete domination.
What a thumping.
I kind of mentally checked out about halftime, which I think
That's
everyone
about
could have,
accurate.
31-7 at half. Anything stick out of this game for you, Jacob?
So when I was sending my picks over to Smeltsy last week, I thought that this was going to be like I thought this was going to be like the game of the week because like Baker Mayfield, Bucks, that attitude going toe to toe against. I get right now you got to argue the best team in the NFL, the Rams, and just what kind of like slugfest this was going to be, and then it was just flat. The Rams defense just came out strong. That pick six, just ripping it out of Kate Otton's hands and just like running it was just like I think set the tone. Whereas, like, this is the Rams game tonight.
They're just vibing right now, and I mean Stafford's got to be the MVP.
Let me gush over a couple of these guys for a minute.
Okay.
He is 100% the MVP. What he is doing right now is incredible, and he talked about this a week or two ago. When you go, when you're in the league as long as he is, everything slows down even more. Like we hear that so often, and what he's able to do to these defenses is crazy. I thought their biggest challenge would be Seattle, and he proved me and a lot of people wrong about how they don't have a challenge right now. They haven't faced a challenge. I don't see one on their schedule that's gonna do anything until they start to get into some of these deeper playoff games, maybe even a Super Bowl potentially on the other side. Like I think they've got it. Devontae Adams, one of the best wide receivers, a little bit biased, but you look at what he does, what he did in that game, it was child's play. He just opens his arms and he's catching two touchdowns. It's absolutely unbelievable. It doesn't matter who's out there for them, who's injured, they have it working. Their coach, their culture, all these guys come around each other, and that defense is just built with a bunch of dogs. Like it doesn't matter who's on the other side. They're getting after you, and they're going to make you look like it's JV high school compared to real men playing out there. Remarkable.
Excellent take there, Justin. The Rams just came out. I really liked the Devontae's little fade pass that he had. He even didn't have the leverage on the receiver. The guy was totally playing the outside too, and that just shows his skill set of that release off the line. Yeah. And then Stafford put it absolutely in a I mean, he could have walked over them and said it any better than that. So, Buccaneers, a little missing Bucky Irvin. You feel a little running games a little slower. Maybe Evans' loss is still really some. I thought their defense tried to play okay, but I think they were overmatched, and then they got behind after that pick six, like you said, and then the momentum changed, and then I felt like Baker had to do everything, and they didn't have enough, and that defensive line for the Rams, especially that front four when they know they're passing, they're tough, So who's that white guy, 55 Fitzer or something like that?
Fisker, whatever.
Yeah. He was really good against the run too. That was really impressive because they didn't get Tampa Bay got nothing going on the run game to start. So, but where's that put the old teams on that?
So the Buccaneers, they fall to 6-5, and the Rams are at 9-2 with the best record in the NFC.
The best record in the NFC. You're hearing it right here on Gridiron Updates. Yeah, I forgot to mention our other co-host is out this weekend. We are having some snow outside, so he decided to make some snow angels in some parking lots. Probably with some equipment.
I think his boss also called him into work.
Yeah, that's true. So thanks for Justin and Jake.
We miss you, Smeltsy.
We miss you. We should be live right now so you could hear us. So, and then the Rams look like they got Panthers, Cardinals, Lions, Seattle, Falcons, Cardinals. I mean, I'm maybe a loss from the Lions in there or Seattle. But other than that, so that where would that put them at if they only let's say they just lose 2? Where were they overall? So
Put them at
13-4.
Yeah.
I mean, that's sounding 1 seed to me for sure.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting how they play out. Like you were talking about right now, like I feel like the only thing that's going to stop the Rams is themselves right now.
Yep.
You know, if we get a couple fumbles out of Williams, Stafford starts, throwing in tighter spots. But man, that guy still's got a gun.
Yeah.
And he's fun to watch. I kind of like to cheer him, even when he was with the Lions. He's kind of that dude. That he's a real football player. No flops out of him. He'll get up and yell in your face. So
Yeah.
Big win for the Rams. Really setting the statement, like Justin said, is probably the NFC championship, one of the contenders right now. So that will finish up our 5-game recap. We got some news coming up on some other episodes, and we got next week games. So slide over on our YouTube or
Apple Podcasts, Spotify, like, comment, subscribe, and do some other stuff.
all that stuff.
Listen to it, watch it.
Yeah.
We're cool.
Yeah. I mean, we're on every site besides the adult one, so moving on. So thanks again, Justin, for stopping in. We'll get her going and talk some more football shortly. So thanks again, Kev, behind the camera. Gridiron Updates out.
See ya.
Don't forget to follow, like, and subscribe. Tune in next time for more Banter with the Boys.